got it, what did you have to do?
So they put me in the hospital for a while. That's when my hand got real messed up, and my fluids were extremely low. And I had done I think I did 3,000 pull-ups, and they're like, man, your body is wrecked up.
Were you just not drinking water while you're doing it?
I was drinking water, but not enough. I was sipping this carbohydrate drink, and my calories were extremely low. I didn't know how much I was going to burn through. And you burn through an awful lot of calories, man, doing that many pull-ups for that many hours.
Yeah.
And with the repetition, with using the single points of just my hands and my biceps, my back, like my body was swollen like the Pillsbury Doughboy. I mean, it looked horrible. And so they kept me in there for a while. But
how long?
Probably about 8 hours. I was in about 8 hours on IVs and stuff like that.
So it was basically a rehydration issue. That's a big part of it.
Yeah. Tons of fluid. And they sent me home though. So I went home that night.
And how long did you wait before you jumped back at it?
I think I was back on the pull-up bar about a week and a half later. And then I broke the record 6 weeks later.
Wow.
I broke the record.
Jesus Christ. So when you did get back on the pull-up bar, how fucked up was your body?
It was bad. But what I do is like what I've done through everything, which isn't real smart. I mean, it works for me, so I'm not saying do this, is I've trained through a lot of my injuries. And I started developing, I started doing that in buds, in SEAL training, because in SEAL training, you got to start from day one, or they just kick you out. So I started from day one enough. So my third time going through, I was really jacked up.
Well, you had pneumonia.
Yeah, I had pneumonia, and I had really bad stress fractures. So my stress fractures, so I would put a sock on and then duct tape my foot all the way up to the top of my, or to the mid of my ankle, or to the mid of my calf. And because my stress fractures were so bad, so like the pivot point between my ankle and my shin, I just cast that all the way up. And so I went through for a few months with stress fractures. And what was crazy about that is they healed. By the time I got to third phase, my stress fractures were healed.
Wow.
And I don't even know how, rhyme or reason behind it. I ran on them. A few months later, they were healed.
Wow.
So I don't know what that means.
So you just pushed through the agony, and eventually your body just said, this crazy fuck is not gonna stop.
It's a true statement. Yeah, it's weird. A lot of my injuries I've just pushed through, and I duct tape it up. I mean,
have you ever had to have surgery on any of them?
No, just a couple heart surgeries, but none of my actual physical body.
And what was your heart surgery for again? You talked about this before,
yeah,
right?
ASD. I had a hole in my heart.
Yeah.
So we talked about
even more ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what we talked about that too, man. They took me off and studied me for a while. So they realized that, my God, I shouldn't even been in the military. I wasn't even qualified to be in the military with a hole in my heart. Let alone be in special operations where you jump on planes and stuff like that. So I was